Welcome to Refined Resilience. I'm your host, Carrie Hill, and on this podcast, we highlight the small moments that shape our journey toward greatness and remind us that resilience isn't linear. Each episode features stories of perseverance and the little victories that often go unnoticed, illustrating that resilience is about finding strength in everyday life. Well, hello, my friends. I am so excited. I'm always excited. I say that every single time. I am always excited to have the guest on who is here with me in studio. And today I have Jason Hewlett. Jason is awesome. And we met one time and I just was like, someday that guy is going to sit down with me and we're going to have a conversation. I just didn't realize it would be on a podcast.
Heck yeah, here we are.
So I'm so thrilled that you are here with me. So I'm just going to read a little bit about you for people that don't know about you, and then we'll get into it. Yeah, it'll be exciting.
Let's see. What do you got?
Yeah. Okay. So having delivered thousands of presentations over 2 decades, Jason Hewlett is the world's only keynote speaker utilizing entertainment, musical impressions, and comedy to teach leaders how to capture their unique leadership promise and signature moves. He has performed in every major casino in Las Vegas. He's one of the youngest inductees in the prestigious Speaker Hall of Fame and is the author of the acclaimed self-help book, The Promise to the One, which I have here with me today. Husband, father, writer, mentor, hiker, and coach, Jason's blog, The Promise, is enjoyed weekly by people worldwide. His online videos and course inspire learning and entertainment while educating and uplifting corporate executives, artists, leaders, and families. Not too shabby, my friend.
Hey, good job.
Yeah.
There it is. Well done.
Jason,
Who wrote
thanks.
that?
I know. I need to know that person. I need a bio written too.
Yeah. That was me. I was like, let's see. What else have I done that's so great? Yeah.
It's always fun, though, I think, to read the bio. It's fun to hear someone else read about you because you forget all the things that you've done over time, you know? And so if you look back, Jason, at the course of your life, that's a lot of, and that's not even the most updated thing that you've done, right? And so to just pause for a minute and sit in a space that says, wow, I was just inducted to this incredible Hall of Fame. I really travel all over the world and I do this thing. Like, what does that feel like for you?
Yeah, I mean, that's a weird thing to know that you've done or been able to have happen in your life. And so being in the Hall of Fame, that's now that I mean, it's been almost 10 years now. And funny enough, when it was this big pipe dream as a youth, saying someday I want to be a speaker and be on stage and be an entertainer. And then when you accomplish something like being inducted in the Hall of Fame, and they only put 5 people per year in the whole world. And
they picked
crazy.
you?
Now, yeah, I know. And that's what I was like, me, and what's interesting is I thought, okay, I've now hit this pinnacle and it's all easy from here. That's not right. Like now you have to prove them right for picking you. And that was really an interesting epiphany, really, because even if you do all the casinos in Vegas as an entertainer, or even if you speak at the largest events in the world, it's always going to be this incredible effort to get the next opportunity, to prove yourself every time you stand on stage, to keep a promise to an audience expecting to see something great.
Yeah.
And so the beauty of all of that is like, I love that they have expectations, and I love doing my best to try and even go further than they expected to see. And so those are big things like Speaker Hall of Fame or award-winning entertainer. And equally, it continues to push me to do better.
Yeah. I really appreciate that perspective because instead of getting bogged down or burdened with that, right? I really love that you're saying, no, I've leaned into it now to figure out how to make it work for me.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And when you're, sometimes you could feel like this burden of almost responsibility that they picked you as that person. And it's like, well, now you've got a target on your back. And some people feel that. And for me, it was just like, wow, I'm so young getting inducted into this. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But can I continue to improve? Can I write a better book? Can I create a better presentation? Can I get coaching to even be better? And people are like, well, you're a Hall of Famer. You don't need to have coaching. It's like all the greatest of all time always have a coach. So
right. Coaches always have coaches. That's right. Yeah.
That's right.
For you, Jason, when was the moment, like go back, right? When was the moment that you thought, that you realized this is what I'm going to do with my life?
Oh my goodness. I don't know if there was just one stark moment, but I mean, I made people laugh all through grade school. I was the student body president of my high school, so I got to speak a lot. And then I went on a mission for my church, and I'm in Brazil. Don't speak the language of Portuguese. I'm walking around trying to sell Jesus. This is difficult stuff.
Yeah.
And then I made people laugh without the language having to be a barrier. And I realized, oh my gosh, I can go anywhere in the world and get a smile out of somebody. And whether it was through music or an impression or something silly or with my body dancing or moving, my face, that I could do some things, I was like, I think I can do something with this someday, somehow.
Yeah.
And to be able to come home from that mission, I was 21 years old, and I came back and I said to my parents, I think I want to go to Las Vegas and try to make it. And they're like, what? Like, what are you talking about?
Oh, the beauty of being in your 20s.
Right. Like, no idea. I thought it would be so simple,
Wow.
right? And this is early 2000s. I was like, I want to be the next MTV star. I'm going to have an album of music. I'm going to act in movies. I'm going to be a stand-up. I'm going to do entertainment. I'm going to speak and write books. And they're like, what are you talking about? Well, however we can help you, we will. And they, instead of snuffing out the dream, they're like, how can we lift you up? And so they did. They opened up doors and opportunities and supported me. And I'm very grateful to have parents that did that.
That's amazing.
Eventually finding my wife, who was, the greatest blessing of my life, was also like, whatever you need, let's make this work. Well, her parents were like, how's he going to support this marriage and our daughter? And then they started to support me as well. And, just having that network of people that believe in you, it's very special, especially when it's your family. It's not everybody gets that. And so for me, I was just very, very thankful. And I think if there was a moment, it would be while I'm in another country trying to figure out how to get people to listen to my message. And I was like, oh, I can make them laugh. And there's a connection there.
Isn't that one of the most beautiful things about going to a foreign space that you're unfamiliar with, right? And
Absolutely.
it could be anywhere. It doesn't necessarily mean that there's a language barrier, but you could just go to Alabama, which you just came from, and have a completely different cultural experience. And smiles are universal.
That's right.
Humor, people can feel the spirit of humor. And even if they don't understand what you're saying, they can see your face is lit up. You're saying something fun. Oh, this must mean it's fun. And that beautiful experience of just connectivity without even understanding what you're saying is so beautiful.
That's right. And I'd learned that early on. My mom was very wise because she saw that I had a big mouth, and I do. And when I was a kid, I was known for that. I'd walk around like, and everyone's like, what are you doing? And my mom was eventually like, probably don't do that everywhere. And I'm like, And she goes, why don't you use your mouth to smile and just smile at everybody? Because the light you shine is the light you receive.
Awesome.
And I was like, oh, she's right. Because wherever I'd go, if I smiled at somebody, they'd smile back generally.
Yeah. And
I make a joke of it on stage. I'm like, you need to pick your spots where to smile. You don't want to be walking through the airport like, guess what's in my bag? So you gotta pick your spots. But
the principle of that is just, it's true. First of all, that's a true principle. Yeah. And smiles cost you nothing.
That's right.
Right. And they go with you and they go everywhere. They are the one language that transfers everywhere.
Smile and the world will smile at you. Yeah, it's good.
So, Jason, what I really appreciate about your story is that you sparked. There was something in you that sparked in that moment that felt organic to you. Like I can feel the energy of you saying that, right? I can like almost like I'm there with you, seeing that experience happen and seeing the light bulb go off in your head. Oh, that felt good. I think I want more of that, right?
Yeah.
As you go out and you talk to other people on stage and you talk to groups and you do the gamut, the private, the public, the massive public thing, right? How do you mentor others on finding their spark, finding their organic spark?
I mean, that's the the hope, or at least the desire of every speaker and performer, I think, is to inspire the audience, is to reach not the collective essentially, but rather the one in that moment. And so when I'm performing or speaking, I'm speaking to one person, but there's a lot of people that are all the one.
Yeah.
And so I think that as I'm sharing things that are funny and silly to me, and musical as well, because I like to add it all together. But I know that when we reach someone in their heart, that'll open up their mind to be willing to listen to some of these principles that can help change their life. And so as I'm performing, I'm also going to a place of vulnerability, right? Where it's like, I'm going to share with you guys some of the stuff that some of you aren't even going to like this, but this is all I have to offer. So now I'm going to sing like, Marge Simpson and Axl Rose, and they're just like, what? This is a business meeting. And I'm like, she got a smile when it seemed to me, remind me of childhood memories. And they're like, what the heck is that? And then I'm like, Marge Simpson, now and then when I see her face, she takes me away to that special place. And they're like, well, are we learning? And then really I just say, now think about your voice. What makes you stand out in a sit-down world? How do you share that which makes you uniquely who you are? Because you're the only one with it. Just like Axl Rose when he sings, just like Billy Joel or Elton John or Louis Armstrong or Lady Gaga, you name it. They all have something unique that makes them awesome. It's their signature move. So what's yours? You have it. Do you share it?
Yeah.
Or do you hide it?
Yeah. Yeah. That's something that's always been interesting to me. Even when you figure out what the thing is that makes you stand out in a sit-down world, which, by the way, I love that.
That's cool, right?
Yeah. How do you figure out how to maximize it, how to grow it, how to leverage it? And you had a really supportive family to help you. And like you said earlier, not everybody has that support network. And so if you do or if you don't, right, it still is up to you on what you do with that. And so for you, Jason, how did you grow? How did you take that thing and upscale?
I love that question because honestly, I used to just tell people I'd get on stage early on speaking. I'd say, what's your signature move? Because Michael Jackson had the moonwalk and everyone expect to see that. If they didn't, that's like a broken promise to the audience, right? So I was like, what's yours? Figure it out. And then I would leave. And I was like, after a while, I had so many audience members come up to me and be like, I don't know what my signature moves are. I'm going to go sit in my car and cry. And I'm like, no, just think about it. And eventually I realized they need to have a formula or some kind of process that we could put together. So I sat down with a guy who's way smarter than me. His name's Steven Shapiro, is one of my dear friends. And he has a brain that's the different opposite than mine. And he does, he's like good at math and science and all this innovation type stuff. And he goes, Jason, you already have the formula. You've been doing it your whole life. Now we just have to articulate it properly. And so we actually spent a few days chopping through my message as well as his so he could speak more entertaining and that I could speak more articulate about my process. We came up with what's called the ICM process on how to discover your signature moves. I stands for identify, C, clarify, M, magnify.
Which is in this book, by the way. The
Chapter
Promise
2.
to the One, chapter 2. That's right. Yeah. Awesome.
So thank you for knowing that. And I'll tell you, when I started teaching identify, clarify, magnify, it made so much more sense to everybody sitting there because I say, identify as many gifts, skills, and talents that you have. Just try to write as many as you can down. I try to push a leader to do 100.
How do you do that? How do you do that for people? Not the actual physical, but how do you assess yourself to find your authentic gift?
I just say, start writing. It doesn't matter if it's like, I'm a good listener, or I'm good at speaking, or I'm good at singing, I'm good at solving a problem. I can bake cookies. You name it, throw it at the wall. And then I like to say, try to come up with 100, and then we're just going to pare it down to the top 10 that you're like, ooh, this really is me. I'm an artist. I'm a journaler. I'm spiritual. I'm the server. I'm helping all the time. So when somebody has their top 10 of identify, now clarify is where you bring other people in. Now, if I were to ask you, if somebody were to say, what are you known for? I mean, you probably would be able to be like, oh yeah, people have told me I'm this and this and this, right? So that's where the clarify piece comes in. You just say, ask your friends, your family, your coworkers, just say, hey, what do you think makes me stand out in a sit down world? And they go, I mean, you're unique, you're funny, you're interesting, you're, and they start giving me words that were different than the words I came up with. Like if I said, I identify I'm funny for me, they would clarify by using a different word like hilarious. So I can choose which word to lean into. So I'm like, funny's good, hilarious is probably better. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to like take the top 10 of the clarify list. Now I have my identify list, my clarify list. Last is, can I take all those and magnify it? So now I've identified, clarified, now I can magnify those signature moves. And honestly, as we start to lean into those things that we really see in ourselves that we can share with the world, and other people have said, oh yeah, do that more. That's what we clarify is worth a lot. Then we can magnify that promise. And that's where I call it the promise, is to say, if you understand that about yourself and identify and clarify it, how dare you not magnify it? You're breaking like a rule of the universe.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so that's where the promise comes in to say,
and
what's your promise?
And that's where people get stuck, is the magnify,
Absolutely.
in my opinion.
Totally.
Right? And I think that happens in personal life. It happens in business. We get stuck in the engagement of the thing.
Yeah.
Right. And
that's
then
the word, engagement.
Yeah. And then we don't, and then we just kind of sit around with it, waiting for somebody to tell us what to do with it. Right.
That is so right.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine if you knew you should do a podcast and you're just like, well, there's so many hurdles. I don't really know what to do.
Right.
I mean, now your voice is muted, and that's just not right.
Yeah.
The world will not receive your gift.
Right.
And so you're absolutely right. That magnify piece is where I say a promise is the highest level of engagement we commit to in any experience. It's greater than a goal. It's more than just a commitment. It is a sacred promise that you say, I'm going to share this. Even if the audience is sitting there like, I don't even know if I want that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm going to give it to you anyway.
Because that's your promise to yourself.
That's right.
Is that you will show up and give that.
That's it.
What is in you to other people.
And that's the promise to the one.
Yeah.
That's the title of
I
the book.
love that. Yeah. So, what was the inspiration for this? Was that the inspiration, was to help people go through that process?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And to be like, how many times have you made a promise and broke it to yourself? Mostly. Because if you break a promise to your family, they're usually like, oh, we don't like you.
Yeah.
If you break a promise at work, you might get fired. So we keep promises to everybody, but what about ourselves?
Yeah.
And so that's what the book was written about, was to say, the promise to the one is yourself. Obviously, you could tie it into God if you want, but some people like that. I personally do as well, but I also say, look, the promise to yourself is just to honor your commitment to self. What are your sacred goals you're not going to break?
Yeah.
And I do like to say, why set a goal and you can make a promise? Not to say that, goals aren't important, because they are. But if you set a goal and miss it, you just set another one.
Yeah.
But if you make a promise and break it, that's a one and done.
Yeah.
So what are your goals are particulars, and your promise is your proclamation.
I like that. I appreciate that. I tend to make agreements with the thing that I'm trying to do, right? If I do, then you will do. Right?
Exactly.
If I exercise, then body, you will lose weight. This is the agreement we have.
That's right. Yeah, good for you.
So I really appreciate that, Jason. And you have really been on some big stages. MVP and Super Bowl champion. I love that right there. But you really have been on some big stages, and recently you toured with Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
And that, talk about a big stage. That's a global stage, actually, right? The whole world is looking at this most recent political show.
It was. That's
if
right.
we want to call it that. So, so going from Jason, living in Utah, entertaining people in Utah, to, now I'm in the Hall of Fame, to now I'm on the global political stage as myself, not really having changed anything about you.
No.
Just showing up as you, took you through all of these, stages in your life, no pun intended, right? How does that feel to sit in a space where now you have eyes on you from all over the world, literally looking to you to see what you're going to say. Humorous, not humorous, serious, funny, all the things, right? Mm-hmm. What was that like for you? And how did that even happen?
Well, for you to say it that way, then it really gets scary to think about. I'm like, is that really what it was? That's actually how it felt.
Yeah.
And because I have always been middle of the road, anyone can book me, anyone feels comfortable around me. And I never want anyone to feel like, oh, he believes this or he's over there, so we can't interact. So I've been able to be booked by the left, the right, and everyone in between. And when I was a part of this tour, it was an interesting experience because a company that I'm consulting with is called Cardio Miracle, and they're a health supplement company. It helps you with your cardiovascular system. It's great for your energy and your health. And they sponsored the tour of Tucker Carlson. Actually, they only sponsored one stop in Salt Lake City, where Tucker had his guest, Glenn Beck.
Yeah.
So the tour manager, they were like, well, as part of the sponsorship, we're going to add a couple of benefits. So we're going to have VIP seats. We're going to have the banners everywhere, show a video of the company. And what I haven't revealed yet is that my dad is the founder of Cardio Miracle.
Okay. I love that you just slid that in at the end. Like, oh, by the way.
So my dad
Very
is
cool.
a huge fan of Tucker and a huge fan of Glenn. And I, in my life, up until that point, only knew about Glenn as a loud person on the radio and Tucker as a guy with a bow tie. I thought he was on CNN. Like, that's all I knew about these guys.
CNN is going to burn this podcast.
Like, that's how far off of this political what's going on that I was. Okay. So when you put it the way you did, it's like, whoa, I guess the world was watching, because apparently Tucker had been let go from other networks and started his own. And then he got censored. So he's put together a tour. Now he starts doing stops around the country in arenas, having a different guest every time. And he had an opening act each time, usually a famous comedian. And my dad convinced the tour to have the unknown, his son, because of part of the sponsorship, be on that stage.
Wow.
So they were very upset to have this unknown entity come up on stage. They were terrified.
Interesting.
Yeah, because he was like, oh, it's my son, he'll be great. And they're like, who is your son? And
they're expecting a 12-year-old,
And I get up there and they're like, do 10 minutes and that's it.
Yeah.
So I did my time. And Carrie, it was interesting because it's at the Delta Center, which is tens of thousands of people. And by the end, they were all standing and cheering and crying and singing God Bless the USA with their lights. My whole point was to spread joy and to just make everyone happy. I wasn't looking to be like, I'm against this group, but I love this group. I was like, come together, and let's God bless the USA if we can with our lights. And I'm just telling you, the tour people were so stunned by the fact that it went from huge comedy to like this patriotic moment. And everyone was emotional, that when I came off stage, they were like, can you come on tour with us and just do every show? I was like, when? And they're like, tomorrow in Wichita. I was like, what? So the next thing I know, I'm flying around the country, and I kind of had to move some things around to make this work. I did it all for free. I just did it because I was like, this seems like a good thing, a good opportunity to make people laugh, bring America together. And as I was on the tour, that's when everything really started to hit the fan with my friends, my peers, my network, my industry.
Really?
Oh, yeah. When I announced that I was doing the tour, that's when a lot of people said, you can't do it. That's the wrong side, right? And you're doing something that's negative. And I was like, well, wait a minute. I think this is okay. Like from what I'm hearing on the stage, I don't like some of it, but I like the overall feel of what's happening. And but pretty soon Rolling Stone wrote an article about me, and then Washington Post. And these were not favorable things they were saying. And I'd been wishing my whole life to be written up in a Rolling Stone magazine. And they were like, yeah, not so great. And so that was a fascinating experience.
Gosh, I have so many thoughts in my head right now that I want to dive into with you. Like, number one, I think this speaks to a larger problem, Jason, right now that we have, and maybe it's not a problem, but it's a hurdle for sure, something that we're trying to navigate, which is political comedy. Is social comedy, right? And we always, I think that our comedic spaces are safe places for you to just be, make fun of everyone, if you will, make jokes about everything, right? Because you say what we can't say, right? Or what we're afraid to laugh at.
Yeah.
And now we're together and we can all laugh at the thing because the comedian is Switzerland, right?
Yeah.
That's
right.
And so, but I think we're experiencing this, and we have been for a while, this backlash of the ability to just laugh at things that are true.
Well said.
And that's right. And it doesn't matter if it's true for you or if it's true for somebody else. If it rings true for you and it makes you laugh, that is an authentic response to what your experience in your environment has been.
That is so interesting you say that, because, that's right. And that's how it ought to be. And yet here's the thing about my act that I did on these stages. There was nothing political that I did, right?
Right.
Like, that's what's so bizarre.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine being an actual political something, because I was just up there doing the act that I used to do in Vegas or on every private corporate stage. I was like, they love all of this because this works for everybody.
Yeah.
And just because I was there was wrong to so many of my peers. And others were like, oh, we didn't know this is what he believed and we love him more. And so it was this weird thing where I was like being pulled from both sides, being shunned by one and being loved by another. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to be loved by these people, but I don't want to be hated by them. Yeah. It was so interesting and devastating, really, to be candid. I mean, it was the most trying moment of my entire life, for sure.
Real.
Oh yeah. Cause I was giving it away. Like I was not making money, and everyone was like, oh, you must be making so much. And I'm like, no, I'm just doing this to help my dad's company, Cardio Miracle, have some promotions. Yeah. And I'm just doing all these shows. And I lost all my work for this year, which has been weird. Yeah.
I had no idea.
All the corporations and the agents and others were like, we can't even book him now. Like, it was so bizarre. Yeah. And I've now had ethics violations against me from the Hall of Fame for speaking. And I mean, just stuff that I never thought would happen, because I have been Switzerland. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And so just
and just having seen your content too, like to your point, you're not political, you're not social, you are musical entertainment. I mean, that's the truth. Who can be offended by musicians? And your impersonations of them are very good, by the way.
Well, that's nice, and also, except for when I can't talk.
When you can't, except when the Rolling Stone says it's not, right? or the Washington Post. Yeah. But I really appreciate that insight, Jason, because a couple things. Number one, I do think, I mean, we're going to talk about comedians right now, but I think this applies to anybody who gets a higher level of exposure, a higher level of success, a higher level of upscale, right? Is that you do, at least from what I observe, I wouldn't know, but from what I observe, right? You start to lose people that you didn't even know were at risk. And now they start to kind of dissipate, and maybe there's some jealousy, some very strong emotional ties to the thing that you're not even tied to, right? And so I think this is so interesting that this really impacted you this way, because to show up with your intention being for the good of the people, to unify the people. Yeah. And that was the point. Apolitically, right? Just under the flag itself, could we just come together and do something beautiful and enjoy some laughs in this moment? That was the intention. Yeah. And as I started to feel the burn this was all happening within like 3 weeks. Yeah. Wow. Of like being fully canceled, losing friends, having the craziest texts and emails and messages I've ever gotten. Wow. And then equally on the other side, people like, I support you so much. I'm going to help you with all these things. I'm going to open doors for you, and all these promises that obviously now have not come to pass too. Yeah. So it's like you have this one side that says, we're done with you, and another side that says, we'll do all these things for you, and it doesn't happen. I find that really interesting to say,
okay, so how can we collectively come together?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And make it all like, just because I think the main problem was, as I was on this tour, I was saying the stuff they're saying, I agree with way more than what I've been hearing the last 4 years. So I kind of like this. Like every president I've ever voted for never won. I've never been on the right side, apparently. And so I don't know enough. So I started doing some research, and the more I was being told I was wrong, the more I was like, well, what is wrong with this? Like, what is so bad about Tucker Carlson? I didn't know what was bad about him.
Yeah.
And I'm in a jet with him, and I'm like, this is as nice and cool a guy as I've ever been around. Like, and so as I leaned into that and I started to do some more research so that was September 6th was the first gig. By the end, it was October 31st. And that was opening for Donald Trump at the Desert Diamond Arena in Arizona, 20,000 people. They asked me to do 15 minutes to open, but he's late. So I did about 45 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah. And they just kept adding time to the clock, which was crazy because RFK's sitting in the sidelines waiting to go on, and Charlie Kirk and the Means and all these like major people waiting to speak, and Tucker. And so then I endorsed Trump that night. And that was like the nail in my coffin of my friends and my kind of being down the middle of the road with my entire life, right? Now all of a sudden they're like, oh, he's political. He talked about Trump. So now that was really tricky. So then Trump wins, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, just boom.
Now you're like, I can't win. I literally cannot win.
Finally, the guy I vote for wins. And I'm like, what the heck? I thought I was supposed to feel joy. And I'm like, I felt bad for my friends that I knew how they felt.
Yeah.
Because that's how I felt every time.
That's an interesting emotion to experience.
Yeah.
Like I am feeling some joy for my, affinity for this platform or whatever it is. And at the same time, I'm feeling unsettled for you.
Yeah.
But I really appreciate that, Jason, because I think it shows your ability to be Switzerland. I think it shows your ability to say, I'm going to align with the thing that feels true to me, not the person, but the thing that feels true to me. And I'm also going to show you, take an interest in what your narrative is as well. I really appreciate that. So this comes back to the kind of the comedic environment with which we live, which is very kind of dangerous right now, I would think a little bit.
Absolutely.
How do we, and there's so much, I'm sorry, I'm like struggling because there's just so much that I could ask you, but first of all, Jason, how do we become resilient in this environment, right? With humor. And I think that's super important. And number two, how are you navigating this now in a space of under the resilient umbrella?
Yeah.
Right? What is that process like for you?
Yeah. I mean, I think the way that we bring this together and through comedy is tricky because now I am essentially, to some people, they think I'm a political commentator of some kind, which I am not.
Yeah.
But I am apparently in that political arena because those guys now ask me to come do their gigs because I'm so good at making people laugh in a clean way that they're just like, wow, we can put them in front of anybody and it works. And so I
dance, Mikey, dance.
That's right. Do your thing.
That's terrible.
We won't pay you, but go for it.
That's terrible.
Yeah, it's an interesting space. And I'm just grateful to get a stage because I'm like, this is what I was built to do. This is my magnify, keeping the promise. And yet, while, people were saying also like, well, what if the Democrats would have called? I'd have been there. Like they didn't call. So here we are, right? I mean, it's interesting to me that sense. But when I started to champion kind of that cause and say, yeah, I think this is the right way we ought to go as a country. Now I'm leaning too far to one side. So I would say in moving forward, I have made a life, I've made a living as a speaker, but I've made my life as a listener. And so listening to what you're going through and finding that common connection where we can say, can we still laugh? Can we still connect? Can we still love one another despite the fact that you might believe something 100% different than me? Is that okay to still connect, to still talk, to still be in the same room? I've had I've had calls with people that are like, I hate what you've done. I hate what you stand for. I hate what you've broken the promise to me. But I have to tell you, it's amazing to watch.
Wow.
And I'm like, whoa, really?
Wow.
Yeah, it's been so cool that they would see through that. Like I don't agree with him, but I can also say good for Jason for keeping his promise to himself and his family and what he stands for. Like, and getting a stage and a microphone, right? Just like I would have cheered on all my friends if Kamala called them and said, come perform for me. I'd have been like, good for you. Like, go.
Champion.
Go. How can I promote this?
Right.
Instead, it was different for me. And that's okay. It was just a little bit of an experience in of itself. But I would say listening to each other, being vulnerable and talking it out. And if you've noticed my posting in the last few months, it's just consistently looking into the camera and being consistent with the messaging of saying, you've got this. This is what you can share with the world. Your promise is to continue regardless of what's happening in your life. And when it comes to resilience, I don't feel like a resilient person per se. I really don't. But when I look at life as it's come and to have the supportive family and the friends that are still around, I mean, I'm very thankful for that, of course. And it would have been way harder if they would have bailed on me, my own family. That would have been tough.
Yeah.
You know, you look at Robert F. Kennedy, like, how is he doing this? I don't know. Like, that's really tough.
But right? I really love that you honed in on the authentic promise to the one, right?
That's right.
Because just as you, and I think that is one facet of politics that we have lost, is that the ability to respect somebody, even if they are of a completely differing opinion, that they are convicted, they believe what they believe, they are living in that authentic space to promote what they believe is right. And that is an admirable thing, right?
Absolutely.
Even if it's on opposite of what you believe, the commonality that you just talked about, you know, can we still love each other? Can we still respect each other as humans, right? Can we sit in that space and just at least admire the fact that we're living in our authentic mind and purpose?
There you go.
And
that's
I love
right.
that.
No, and that's right. I mean, how many people have I interacted with that when they learn about my religion, let's just say, and theirs is the opposite in almost every way.
Yeah.
Can we not still have dinner?
Right.
I mean, what's the deal? Yeah. Or, I mean, I've done gigs all over the world, events for some huge things. The language was different. They had a translator for me doing musical comedy. Like, how is this possible? And yet they loved it. We don't believe probably anything of the same thing other than let's be nice to each other. That's it. The golden rule. Yeah. Do unto others as you'd have done unto you. I mean, like, I'm going to do my best to, you know, honor everybody wherever I go. And I find that this has been just such a resiliency type building experience for my own attempt to try. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And to also, I mean, I'm still, you know, Carrie, this is probably fresh. You can feel it in me as I talk, because I'm almost shaking talking about it, but I'm like, is it okay for me to own it and get through it and be okay with it while I know other people are really mad about it and really suffering as I have suffered too? I think everybody's suffering. And I think everybody can be lifted up within the suffering.
That is a beautiful picture to sit with and think about. Again, because I think it comes back to your serving your specific purpose in life, your heart. You're heart driven, right? Mission driven, right? To just be the best you that you can be and do the thing that you can do, apolitically, asocially, just for Jason. Yeah. Right. Right. And so I really value when we can sit in a space of saying, I don't know quite how I'm going to get through this yet. Yeah. But I'm willing to tell you that I don't know, which means I'm walking through it. Right. It's happening. I'm in it, you know? Yeah. And what a lovely place to be. So many light bulbs, so much self-awareness, and so much growth in that space, Jason. Because think about what you're going to add now to your speaking ability.
Yeah.
Think about the lessons that you're learning right now that you're going to take to the stage, and somebody else is going to need what you're experiencing right now. And that's powerful, right? So I had this question, do you know Todd Sylvester from Todd Inspires? He has a podcast called Beliefcast.
Oh yeah, I've heard of
that. I love Todd.
Okay.
And he asked me this question, which is like a standard, I think, question, right? Do you believe that things happen for you? And I really had to think about it because I was like, do I really believe that all of the tragedy and the trauma and the drama in my life has been for me? Like, here's a gift, And I really had to sit with that. And I said, I think we need stories to help us get through things. Whatever that is for you is the thing that helps you get through that thing. And then I think that thing can become for you.
Wow.
That was my perspective. But it's been so interesting to hear other guests tell me that they believe these things have happened in their life for them. So I want to ask that question to you. I'm just going to pass that on to you. Do you believe that this experience happened for you, like intentionally for you? Or are you going to take this experience and make it mean something for you?
I think both. Heavens, yes, that's great. I mean, absolutely, this was a part of some divine opportunity, and it may have felt like it wasn't at a lot of the sense of the word, because it's like, I don't know if this is even the right thing for me to be doing, because I'm losing opportunities and I'm losing friendships and relationships that I'm like, I'm not really changing anything. I'm just still going forward.
Yeah.
And so did it happen for me? Heck yeah, everything does. I mean, I'm so grateful I went through it. So now that I have more empathy for anybody that is like misunderstood. Yeah. Or that somebody just says, oh, that guy's no good. Or it's like, well, maybe I should ask him, I remember watching my mother-in-law suffer with her knee replacement. And I was like, okay, she's through the surgery. Now she's doing physical therapy. She's got to get over it now. And she's just like, oh, my knee. And it was like constantly this problem. And I thought, man, she just can't get past it. What is wrong with her? Yeah. And then I broke my leg. It was the absolute right thing to happen to me, because now I'm looking at her like, why would I be so judgmental? Like, what's my problem? Like, do I have to go through it so I can feel it and be nice and loving to my mother-in-law, a person I love already? Right. And so for me, going through the leg break, that connects me closer to my mother-in-law. But it also makes me look around at all the people limping onto the plane, or who am I cutting in front of at the grocery store because they're, a little bit not getting in line and quicker. And then I'm like, oh, can I hold the door open for the guy with the crutches? I mean, everything opens up to you when you go through it. And so for me, absolutely. Yeah. How does it create meaning? I mean, there's meaning in everything. I could write forever and speak forever on something new. Yeah. Just about the things that we go through that we can make of something that is wonderful. And I'm so thankful that God would put that in front of me, or just the world itself would say, you got to hit this head on, and let's see what happens. Will he still keep the promise? Yeah. And for me, that's like, I don't do it well every time. And that's the other part of it. It's like, you have to forgive yourself. You're going to break promises to yourself and to others, but can you wake up tomorrow and say, I'm going to continue to push and keep this promise? Yeah.
Jason, I'm loving all of this conversation right now. Wow, thank you so much for sharing it with me. I mean, look, there's not a lot of people that will go through this experience. No. I mean, there's a very elite club of people, right? That go through this experience. And so, but I think if you pare it down to the micro experiences of everyday engagement across the board, right? Like, we're all in situations where we don't understand another culture, another experience, another human day. We go through our day all the time, not really fully ever knowing what other people are experiencing. And to your point, that misinterpretation of what they're doing. You know, we want to call the guy who cuts us off on the road, like these terrible names, right? Maybe there's an emergency. Maybe just lost his wife and his mind is elsewhere.
Yeah.
Maybe, you know, and so giving us ourselves, and then also our collective community as a global community, give us some grace and some mercy and just be curious
There you go.
about the other people.
Yeah.
Right.
I love
And
it.
that like just dissipates so much tension and frustration, in my opinion.
I love it.
It's just to ask the question, you know, like, well, why are you so upset?
Yeah.
You know, I'm not asking to be offensive,
Right.
but like literally you want to know.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that is, what a powerful experience this was for you. And what I really appreciated was seeing your post about the response that the Rolling Stone and the Washington Post had to your impersonations on stage. And what I would venture to say, Jason, is that it wasn't you.
No.
This was not an attack on you, Jason. This was, hey, we're not happy with what's happening politically right now. And anybody associated with it, we're also not happy with.
And you know, that's the beauty of our country, right?
That's right.
That's what we're so lucky.
That's right.
Like, I'm
That's
like
right.
glad that they have the freedom of press.
That's right.
They can say whatever they want, whether it's
Yeah.
a lie or true.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, at least I'm in Rolling Stone. At least Washington Post spelled my name right. You know,
I
like,
know. It was
that's
such a great
cool.
attitude to have. Yeah. But I really love that you shared that with the public and just said, you know, in my transparency, this is what I'm going through.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really beautiful to see the response and the swell of support from other people and I don't know a lot of the other people that were commenting, but just scrolling through your comments, it was like people that were not on the same political side were able to comment and say, yeah, you know, good for you.
Right.
Like, at least you're sticking with it. At least you're doing you know, and
Yeah.
what a beautiful experience.
No, I appreciate that too. Those types of people are what is really helpful. And
Yeah.
I just say, if you want to connect across the aisle, it's a matter of showing up for everybody. It's
Yeah.
like when somebody wants to meet, let's meet. When somebody asks me, they're like, hey, will you just listen to this because this is my perspective? I'm like, show me the link. Tell me when the date is. If I can be there, I want to listen
Yeah.
and learn and continue to just say, how can we come together? Because there is no greater promise than to say, I'm going to continue to reach out
Yeah.
until you're willing to take my hand.
Yeah.
Whether we agree or not, we can still, you know, love one another.
I'm going to kill you with kindness.
That's right.
I'm going to love you until
I have a whole chapter on
until you
kindness.
say yes.
Yeah. A whole chapter on the promise of kindness.
Yeah.
And it's a real thing. And I think kindness may be the true superpower.
Agreed.
You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it is gosh, there's so many pieces, Jason, of resilience that are just, you can't have one without the other, you
Right.
know, gratitude for me, I think is a big one. And also, and kindness.
Right.
And service are all intertwined in that space, right? And when you are in the service of your fellow man, right? You're in the service of your divine,
There you go.
right?
Yeah.
And it's amazing how much tension can dissipate when you reach out in meaningful kindness.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've been helping organizations lately. And as I see the person that they say, oh, this guy, every time he says something, it's a problem.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think that he believes what he's saying. I think he thinks he's right.
Yeah.
So can we listen from the perspective of saying, this means a lot to him. Let's let him talk. Let me just hear him. And then is there a way that we can navigate where all of us can come together to not put him down, not snuff him out? Don't close his mouth. Make sure he knows it's a safe space to talk.
Or her.
Or her,
right. Whoever it is.
especially her.
Yeah.
Yes. And let them talk and let them have their moment, because everybody feels that they're on that right path. And it's like, now you've spoken, now can we listen? And that to me is really the crux of it all. And if we can be kind within that, that's where resilience comes to this beautiful space of saying, can we all lift each other together and can we make this world a better place? I think we can, but it comes down to the promise to ourselves.
To yourself.
And to say, I'm going to do that no matter what, no matter how much I don't like this direction of this company or this effort, I'm going to do what I can to make it so that we are all together in it. That makes a great employee. That makes a great marriage, really. I mean, you know, if my wife says something and I'm like, ugh, I'm like, I better listen because she knows everything better. Right. I mean, it's always right. So then I listen and I'm like, okay, yeah, let's figure that out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it makes for happier marriages, happier families, happier organizations, and better peace in ourselves.
Yeah. Jason, what's next for you?
Oh, I mean, I'm just happy to be on a podcast. I mean, so all those corporate dates that left, I have started lately to get some more requests coming in. So I'm excited about that. And I've never had this in my career. My whole career, I've just had tons of requests coming in all the time that I have to kind of say, okay, I'll do that, but not this. Now it's like, oh, I hope someone will call. But I do have a big show coming up at what's called the Hale Center Theater.
Amazing.
In Sandy, Utah.
Amazing.
It's actually one of the great theaters of the whole world. They have a theater in the round, and then they have a proscenium theater. So one seats 900 plus, one seats 450 plus. I'm in the proscenium 450 plus, but with a full band behind me.
Amazing.
And they've done production, and it's a tribute to Billy Joel and Elton John.
So much fun.
I'm at the piano.
Yes.
I'm not trying to sound like them. I'm just singing their songs. But then I do also my impressions in the show. So I'm still doing, I see friends shaking hands saying, how do you do? Then I'm going, Christmas time is near. You know, I'm just bouncing through all this stuff. But it's an awesome thing. It's happening at the end of April. And I'm ecstatic that is continuing because a lot of events have kind of trickled off. And so here we go. Like I'm thrilled that I get that stage.
Yeah.
Thrilled that you would have me on.
Of course.
And the future looks for me like any stage in any place. Political, I'm not looking for that.
Yeah.
But if a Politico calls me and I can make people laugh and bring joy, that's what I'm made to do. That's me magnifying the promise. And then I'm obviously helping this company, Cardio Miracle, which my dad founded. I believe it's the greatest product you can put in your body. It helps with cardiovascular health. And I'm so thankful for it because it's helped me with my rehabilitation of my legs and my body. And so that's the future for me. I'm excited. And my kids are growing up. My wife and I are happily married. I'm a lucky guy, and a couple of weird things have happened in my career lately, but it was all for me.
Yeah.
To be better and to have more kindness and I guess resilience.
And the beautiful thing is that the only constant is that nothing ever stays the same. Right? So what the experiences of today are not going to be there tomorrow. It's different every single day. What a beautiful thing. You get to hit the restart button every day, right?
Yeehaw.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Jason, I'm really proud of you, and I would be proud of anyone who stays in their authentic purpose. And I think that is a really beautiful and very deserving of respect scenario. And so I'm proud of you for showing up in the face of something that's really challenging on a really huge stage at a really crucial time in the world, and just being you. And I think that's beautiful. And so I hope that you walk away today just knowing that, like, the world sees you, and there's many, many, many people who have appreciated your humor, benefited from it at their events, conventions, right, on their stages, who, if they paused for a minute and just went back to the humor that you brought and who you are, would also remember how grateful they are for the clean humor that you bring to families. And I think that's a beautiful thing. So
wow, well, that's so kind of you to say. And my concern with this, that we've just had this discussion, is like maybe people watched it or listened thinking, oh, this is going to be so funny, and then they're walking away going, wait a minute, he didn't really make me laugh that much. Like, this is,
well, you have to pay. You have to go to the Hale Center to see that.
This was kind of I hope it was like rather than like a downer conversation, like hopefully it was a inspiring for somebody to be like, oh, like, what am I going through? How am I stuck in the mire, but can I still get through it?
Absolutely.
And I also have to just give you some props. I mean, every time you pop up on LinkedIn, you're always saying something positive.
Oh.
I appreciate that you're doing this and having a microphone and taking the effort to put lights up and have the studio. And I mean, all this stuff that you're doing, the work that you do, these are your signature moves. You're sharing them with the world. You have identified and clarified. Now you're magnifying your promise.
Wow.
So bless you for that.
Thank you, Jason. I really appreciate that. And I want to give a shout out to our sponsor and producer, Build and Bless, because they've provided all of this beautiful space and equipment for me to be able to magnify. And so that's how we do. We magnify each other. We help each other. And so, Jason, it's going to be great. Everything is going to be great. And you're going to walk through this experience and you're going to get to the other side and people are going to come back because we have to laugh.
Yeah.
It's vital to being a human.
That's
we
right.
have to laugh, right? We need the alleviation of tension. So I just, I'm so grateful you were here, and let's do this again. Let's have you back on and give us an update of like where you are and what things are happening in your life. So, where can we go if we want to buy tickets? Just Hale Center Theater?
Yeah, it's HCT, Hale Center Theater, hct.org.
Yeah, amazing.
It's the one in Sandy, Utah, which is amazing because there are multiples of them around the country. But it's going to be a fun show, live band, the whole deal. And then if you join me on LinkedIn, that's where you and I rap a lot back and forth, which is rad. And then jasonhewlett.com if somebody's looking to.
And your newsletter is great.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. So thank you for doing it. I know you put that kind of together as well as your blog and your courses during COVID, and it's been a staple, I think, for people. Yeah. So
I actually been doing it. I did it for 10 years straight without missing 1 week.
That's amazing.
And then this last December, I said, you know what? I'm going to put it on hold for a minute, redo the website, do some rebranding. Yeah. Got to write a couple of books, writing my dad's book right now as well. Very cool. And then we'll get rolling back with it again. So
very cool.
Thank you.
Jason, thanks for being here. I really appreciate you, and good luck.
Thank you as well.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Refined Resilience. We hope you found inspiration in the stories shared and the small moments that remind us all of our strength. Remember, resilience is built not just in the big challenges we face, but in the everyday experiences that shape who we are. A special thanks to our sponsor, Build and Bless, for making Refined Resilience possible. Until next time, remember, it's the small moments of resilience that make us great.